Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to The Ground Up. I'm Jay, and today I'm going to be talking with you about my least to favorite MBTI types. So before I get into this, again, as I always do, I'm going to let you guys know my type. I'm a ENTP 8w7. So yeah, this is going to include, some of these are going to be listed by only specifically the male types and female types. Because it could be different from my interactions. And everything here that I'm saying is going to be from my personal experiences, and it's also going to be. I also have to consider the fact. I think we should all realize that each of these types, I can work it out with. Anybody I can learn to work it out with, pretty much. You just gotta figure out what the root cause is of your issues. But anyway, let's get into this. So, I started from the bottom and we're gonna work our way up. The type that I get along with the least is none other than the ISFJ. And I think that has a lot to do, well, I already know what it has a lot to do with. They want to be harmonious and they sort of tend to gauge the environment a lot. They want things to be orderly and structured. And I don't care about any of those things. I don't want things to be, necessarily, I don't go by the status quo at all. And that's what they sort of, in my perception, they tend to do. Whenever I say something, it may have nothing to do with what's going on. Like sort of like, I may sort of say things off of a whim, or maybe think of something, maybe off topic for them, and they sort of get upset by it, or maybe I just don't consider something whenever I'm speaking and I don't realize it. But they tend to have inclination of not not receiving whatever it is that I say very well. So yeah, that would be my number one least favorite. So yeah, sorry, but not really. Next is going to be ESFJ males. I put males in a different category because every time I interact with a male is different from when I interact with a female. I would say a lot different. So when it comes to ESFJs, males, something that bugs me a lot about them that I can't really, seem to get over is that they're always sort of, what is the word? They're critical, but they're more than critical. They're suspicious of me. Like they treat me as if I'm a criminal, or as if I've done something wrong, or that I'm going to do something wrong. And honestly, it really offends me. It really bugs me. I know I'm ENTP. ENTPs are known to be trolls or whatever. It's a little different when you're 8w7, and I take that sort of to heart because whenever I tend to meet people, I genuinely want to, I want to do right by them. And ESFJ males tend to come to me with sort of a suspicion, as if I'm going to cause them any issues or whatever, which leads to me causing issues because they think of me in that way. When really, I'm just, I FE trickster. I can seem sort of like a jokester or whatever, but really, I mean well, and that's just, yeah. So we never ever see eye to eye, hardly ever. And if we do, it's because we've worked it out. Afterwards, maybe then we can start to see eye to eye better. But yeah, I don't really see them like connected with me whatsoever. So there's them, and then ISTJ, they come next. It's about the same boat, I would say, the SJ type of thing. And this SJ, I don't know if I've really interacted that much with ISTJ females, but I know it's the case for ISTJ males to where they'll treat me as if I'm like sort of up to something, and that sort of bugs me, because I'm an ENTP, and yeah, they just sort of, once we interact, they don't really like, they always think that I'm thinking about something other than what what they think I should be. So yeah. After that is ISFP. Man, those ISFPs. They're so like they're so passionate. I guess they're so like they feel so strongly about things that if there's any hot topic or any hot button that you don't want to push, that you don't know about, it's already too late. If you don't know, any likes to explore. And so whenever I'm interacting with an ISFP and I cross a subject which, may trigger some type of volatility within them, then it's going to come out as this outburst. And then now you don't know why that person's mad. I don't know what's going on. They don't exactly explain it. They don't know how to vocalize it. They just sort of get mad and they just keep going at you without actually giving you any output. If you want to fix the situation, as an ENTP 8w7, I try to talk about whatever issue I'm having. And so it frustrates me whenever somebody doesn't talk about whatever it is that they're dealing with, and it just creates a huge barrier. I can never get over it. So yeah, even though I would not say never, because I've managed, because I really try to understand people. So I've managed to get along with the ISFP at work. Person's real cool. I'm cool with them now, but at first it was just too chaotic. So not the top of my list. Not on the top of each other's list. So it's mutual. Next would be ENFJ male. I think the ENFJ male sort of bugs me because as a 8, I really appreciate my autonomy, and I don't like when people are too controlling. And I know that ENFJ males, they're still like, they have a tendency to want to take care of people, but they'll do it in sort of an instructive type of way. And regardless of if they think they feel as if they're helping me, I understand that, but I don't want that help. A lot of times, there's nothing that I can gain from that really in my perspective. Whenever we're interacting, I don't really want to deal with their niceties because, well, there's nothing. I'm SPSX, first of all, so it's really, I have my boundary, and then after that, I want to be very, very close to somebody, and it's most likely, if I'm going to be really close with somebody, it'd probably be an intimate partner, and an ENFJ males that cross my boundary, so that's why I don't really get along with them. They'll get mad because I don't want their help a lot of times. So yeah. And then after that, I would say would be the INFP male, and that's because INFPs, it's sort of the same boat as like ISFP. Like it's not completely to where I don't get along with them at all, but it's just that whenever there is something wrong with them, they don't vocalize it. And so that sort of makes things worse because I respect when people just tell me whatever it is that's bothering them. And then when it doesn't happen, then I lose the respect. I sort of lose the wanting to interact with them or wanting to help the situation. It just sort of deteriorates. I felt, so I feel as if a lot of times with the filler types, I'm not putting it on you guys. I'm not saying you're wrong for this. I'm just explaining how I interpret the situation. Is that as a thinker type who doesn't naturally associate myself with my how I'm internally feeling, I guess, or that sort of deep empathy type of thing, I would say it throws me off whenever I try to logically figure out what's wrong with somebody and they cut me off and say I'm crossing boundaries whenever it's actually negative towards you and me to not speak on it. And so that really bugs me. I can't deal with it a lot of times, and it just creates more toxicity. So yeah, that's for the INFP males. And then next would be INTJ. Some people, maybe you'd be surprised about this, and it may just be the INTJ males. I don't know if I've really met any INTJ females, but I know that from the INTJs that I've met, and it's not that many. He's just kind of, he was a sketchy dude. That's all. He just, kind of cold. More so like they're more about themselves. A little too selfish, I would say. Not saying that they're all selfish. I take that back. You know what? That one is sort of a hit and miss. I've had interactions with INTJ